Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Ed from First Lutheran Church, and I'm here today with my home chat for April 29th, 2020. Today, our topic is this Sunday's Gospel. And on Wednesday, what I like to do is read the coming Gospel that we're going to hear in our worship this Sunday and just kind of talk about it a little bit. There's something from today's Gospel that particularly stuck with me. So let me bring it up here and read it to you. This week's gospel is from the 10th chapter of John, and it's verses 1 through 10. The word of the Lord. Jesus said, "Very truly, I tell you, anyone who does not enter the sheepfold by the gate, but climbs in by another way, is a thief and a bandit. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep hear his voice. He calls his own sheep by name, and he leads them out. When he has brought out all of his own, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. They will not follow a stranger, but they will run from him because they do not know the voices of the strangers." Jesus used this figure of speech with them, but they did not understand what he was trying to say. So Jesus said to them, "Very truly, I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and bandits, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." This is the gospel of the Lord. A couple things really stuck. This is just jam-packed with lots of good information. But there's one thing in particular I started thinking about, and you'll see it in our newsletter coming out either tomorrow or Friday. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. Now, I've seen a lot of people who seem to think Christianity is a lot about following rules. I'm not so much in favor of that idea. In fact, I could argue the other way. But I think it's interesting. The sheep follow him because they know his voice. Think back to when you were a kid. I'll bet you could recognize by just the tone of your mother or father saying something what was going on in their mind, whether they were upset with you, happy with you, they were feeling down, whatever they were feeling, you could tell by the tone of their voice because you knew their voice. And one thing after thinking about this for a long time was I loved my parents, and I believed my parents loved me. I believed they wanted what was best for me, and I believed that their love guided their choices for me. That's in an ideal sense. I grew up with a difficult situation, but in my early years, I really believed that was true. I believed that there was love, and I believe I would say things to myself like, my mom wouldn't like that, or my dad wouldn't be happy if I did that. Knowing the voice isn't a matter of hearing commands. It's more a matter of understanding the heart of that other person. They know his voice. They know his heart. And from where I'm sitting, my walk with the Lord has been I'm listening for his heart. I'm listening for what is best. It says that I came that they may have life. I believe that my Lord has come and he wants what's best for me. And sometimes I don't make the best choices. Strangely enough, he still forgives me. But he wants me to do the right thing because he wants me to have a decent life. Does this mean that we're guaranteed that life will always be wonderful? No. But I think his voice says, I love you. I care about you. I will not leave you alone. And I think he's saying that right now in the middle of this COVID-19 thing. The last week has been very stressful for me. Our son had been exposed to someone with the coronavirus. As you know, he works for the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, and he's a caseworker helping people who are really down and out. And when we heard that he was exposed, he immediately was told he had to leave work, and he had to go get a test at Dodger Stadium. You can see I'm still jealous about missing baseball. And then he had to wait, and it took them 5 days to get the test result back. Today we heard it was negative. He was not, he does not have the coronavirus. And I feel a sense of relief because of that. But you see, in my heart, I was thinking of him. I was concerned for him. He's my son. I love him. And I realize God feels that way about us. He loves us. I would be in a situation where I'd say if someone had to get the coronavirus, I'd rather get it than him. He's young and has his whole life ahead of him. I believe God thinks that way about us. I believe that he loves us so much that he would do anything to be with us and to help us. Well, there are a lot of other things we could talk about, but watch out for false preachers. I've seen many of those in my life, people who were teaching things that weren't really leading to Christ. The way we can test that is with love. Is this teaching bringing people to love God and love each other more? Or is this teaching bringing us to divide ourselves, to be angry with others, to dislike others? My God, the one I follow, loves you just as much as he loves me. If I've had a quarrel with you, for example, he'd want healing on both sides. It's not a matter of he wants me to win or he wants you to win. He wants us to be in fellowship. He wants us to care for one another. In the human condition, we're going to have times when we're going to chafe and we're going to have conflicts and things like that. But underneath of it all, the Lord cares about us and he wants us together. And if I've ever offended any one of you, I ask your forgiveness. And I ask that we find a way to work through it. In fact, I've found in this passage today, when he said, I came that they may have life, life to me involves a lot of forgiveness. Right now in this coronavirus time, I've had to say I'm sorry to Caroline a lot. And she's come over and apologized to me. I've apologized to my daughter on Zoom. I've done a lot of that recently. Because you see, my relationship with my wife is more important than, well, I was right about that milk. Who cares about the milk, whether it was expired or not? It's meaningless. What's meaningful is my relationship with her. And I think this gospel thing is sliding a little bit into my other one, which is called coping. But please realize, think to yourself, reflect, your relationship with the people you're stuck with in this quarantine still is worth more than a carton of milk or a dropped piece of bread or a broken glass or whatever it might be. Let it go, is what I'm saying to you. Listen to the voice of the true Good Shepherd. He's saying what's most important is that we're together and we love each other. Well, I'll be back tomorrow for the last home chat of April. And I just want to say I care about all of you. And I look forward to us being back together again. Again, this Sunday we'll do our ecumenical worship. And no, I'm not giving the sermon, but I guess this is a little mini sermon. I'll try to do these a little more on Wednesdays. God bless you. Love you all.